Welcome back to the narrow road. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most puzzling and profound questions of our existence. Who created evil? At first glance, the very idea seems contradictory. If God is love, and if God is all there is, then how could evil exist? The answer lies in a deeper understanding of the nature of opposition and the illusion of separateness. In this video, we will explore how evil wasn't created as evil, but as a necessary opposition to define the divine love of God. We will see how evil is ultimately an illusion born from the idea of a separate self. So, let's begin. Before we can talk about evil, we need to first understand the nature of God. The Bible is clear. God is love. This isn't just a characteristic of God. It is His very essence. Everything that comes from God, everything that exists, is an expression of His divine love. In fact, God is the only substantial reality. He is whole, complete, and cannot be divided. When we say that God is love, we are saying that all creation flows from this love. There is no room in God's essence for darkness. For God is light, there is no evil within Him. 1 John 4:8. Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. 1 John 1:5. God is light, in Him there is no darkness at all. God's love is the foundation of all existence, but in order for us to truly understand this love, we need to experience contrast, and that's where the illusion of evil comes in. Many people wonder, did God create evil? The answer is no, not in the way we might think. Evil, as we experience it, wasn't created as an entity or a force unto itself. Instead, God created opposition, a contrast that would allow us to understand the fullness of His love. Without knowing what love is not, we wouldn't appreciate the beauty and depths of what love truly is. The opposition serves a purpose, and that purpose is to help us learn and grow. The Bible speaks of God creating both light and darkness, peace and calamity. This doesn't mean that God created evil as we perceive it, but rather that He created the conditions of opposition so that His love could be revealed in its fullest. Isaiah 45:7. I form the light, I create darkness, I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. This evil that we perceive is simply an absence of love, much like darkness is the absence of light. It exists not as something that opposes God's will, but as something that serves His purpose to bring us to the knowledge of love. So, if evil isn't a substance in itself, what is it? Evil is the result of the illusion of a separate self. The moment a being believes it exists independently of God, apart from His love, the idea of evil arises. This is what happened when the Anointed One, known as Lucifer, fell. Lucifer was created perfect, but when he turned inward and saw his own glory, he misperceived it coming from himself rather than from God. This turning inward, this false belief in self-generated glory, gave birth to the first separation, as he embraced the illusion of a separate self. Isaiah 14:12-14. How you have fallen from heaven, morning star, son of the dawn. You said in your heart, I will ascend to the heavens, I will raise my throne above the stars of God. Ezekiel 28:17. Your heart became proud on account of your beauty, and you corrupted your wisdom because of your splendor. In believing that he could exist apart from God, Lucifer fell into the illusion of separateness, and from this illusion sprang the concept of evil, a force that seems to stand in opposition to God's love, but is ultimately hollow and without substance. This brings us to a critical point. Evil is not a substance in itself. It's a contrast. It's a tool used by God to reveal the fullness of His love. Without experiencing what love is not, we could never fully understand the beauty of what love is. Think about it. How could we appreciate the warmth of the sun if we never experienced the cold of night? How could we know the light if we have never seen the darkness? In the same way, God allows us to experience opposition, what we perceive as evil, to guide us towards the truth of His love. What if God, although choosing to show His wrath and make His power known, bore with great witness the object of His wrath, prepared for destruction? What if He did this to make the riches of His glory known to the objects of His mercy? This scripture tells us that God uses even the vessels of wrath, those we perceive as evil, for the greater good of revealing His glory to those who love Him. Now, here's the important part. Evil is temporary. It is an illusion that only holds power as long as we believe in separation. The nature of the beast, with all its anger, greed, pride, and lust, is merely a manifestation of this illusion. The truth is, nothing exists outside of God's love. When we awaken to the truth of oneness in God, the illusion of evil begins to dissolve. We see that evil was only ever a tool, a force designed to help us understand the fullness of love. Once we fully gain the knowledge of God's oneness, the power of evil vanishes. John 15:5. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Colossians 1:17. He is before all things, and in Him all things hold together. Nothing can exist apart from God. And the idea that evil is an independent force is part of the illusion of a separate self. In truth, all things are held together by God, and His love is the only substantial reality. So, who created evil? The answer is that God created opposition, not as an independent force of malice, but as a way for us to learn what love truly is. Evil is an illusion of separation, a temporary tool designed to bring us back to the fullness of God's love. In the end, it is love that endures. The opposition we face, the struggles we endure, they are all part of God's plan to bring us to a deeper understanding of His love. The illusion of evil will pass away, but God's love will remain forever. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. If this message resonates with you, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Together, we are walking the narrow road to the truth of love. Until next time, keep seeking, keep growing, and remember, you are loved.